friends.
How's it going?
Hope it's going good. Hope you're having a good week.
Me too. I hope you are too.
You trying real hard not to be a Debbie Downer.
Yeah. I'm excited though because it's kind of thundering a little bit. I mean, I hope if there's like a bad storm, I hope everybody's safe, but I like a good like thundering moment.
Same, as long as it's done for by the time I get ready to go home. Because I ain't trying to have to drive in a storm.
No.
At 5 miles an hour. It's just lightning.
Ooh.
I'm good for the rain though. I cool it off.
We've been needing this.
We need to go sit on the front porch now.
Yeah, I got a rocking chair.
Pause the recording. Let's go sit on the front porch. Sorry guys, I'm eating nerd clusters and
They literally have crack in them.
Probably. I'm addicted. I'm addicted to you. So tonight.
That's probably the most millennial thing you have ever said on this podcast.
I'm an elder emo. I'll claim that.
So what are we talking about today?
Things.
I don't have any goofy stories to start us out with, so.
We're talking about things, stuff.
Stuff. Cool. Junk. People's junk.
Yeah. Well, one of these things I'm going to talk about is not junk.
We're
going to give y'all.
It's really like junk either. Junk in the trunk, maybe.
Right. I got that. You remember in the, what was it, Texas episode? Where I was like, yes, it was. Where I was like, oh, I heard this story on another podcast and I'm going to use it for another episode and I'm real excited about it.
Yeah.
Well, here it is, guys.
Whoop whoop.
We're having another cursed episode. Cursed
episode objects.
Cursed objects episode.
I was on the struggle bus with this one. I'm not gonna lie. I think we're running out of cursed objects.
There's plenty out there.
There is,
it's
but
just a matter of finding them.
And they don't have good stories,
right?
Or they end up being fake.
Well, it's fine because it's still a good story.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to do the thing. I got a couple that I'm going to read to you from a website called Ranker.com.
Oh, I love a good Ranker article.
And then I got my grand finale. But for the first one that we're going to talk about, it's a phone number.
Ooh, I think I've heard of this.
0888 888 888.
Oh, that does sound cursed.
Right. The allegedly cursed phone number was disconnected after all three of the owners of the number died within a decade.
Oh, I don't like that.
The original owner, who happened to own a phone company, passed from cancer, although some rumors claim that a rival gave him radioactive poisoning.
That seems excessive.
Right. The number was then passed down to two different men that were involved in the mafia, who were later gunned down on business trips. The number was subsequently taken out of service, and when people curious about the legend called it, they received a message that the number was outside network coverage.
Oh. Well.
Sorry, this website has some that we have already
I kind of hope y'all can hear the thunder a little bit.
Right. Ooh, look at the color outside. It's orange now.
I saw there's like, right behind the trees, there's like some orangey. Looks like a creamsicle out there.
I don't remember which ones you were going to talk about.
So
if I say it and it's one, then let me know.
I'll just be like, no.
Okay. Anna Baker's wedding dress?
Yeah.
Okay. I do think you did that one.
I think I did, 3?
Yeah. The woman from Limbs statue?
No, I did not do that one.
This statue was discovered in Lemb, Lemb, Cyprus in 1878 and dates back to about 3500 BC. The statue eventually earned the nickname the Goddess of Death after 4 different families experienced tragedy after owning the statue. The first owner, Lord Elfont, along with his entire family, died within 6 years of owning the statue. The subsequent 2 owners and their families were also wiped out within 4 years of bringing the statue into their homes. The surviving 2 sons of the 4th family finally donated the statue to the Royal Scottish Museum in Edinburgh, where it was encased in glass and has not been blamed for any more tragedies.
That's messed up.
Right. The Hands Resist Him painting. I've heard of this one before.
I have heard of that one. I almost did it, but I didn't.
So if you don't know what this painting looks like, look it up because it's terrifying. William Stoneham painted the now famous The Hands Resist Him painting in 1972 based on a childhood photo of himself.
Oh.
The painting depicts a sullen-looking boy next to a baby doll with hollowed-out eyes who is holding a strange remote. In the background, mysterious hands reach for the boy from behind the glass panes of a door. The painting is considered to be creepy on its own, and after 3 people reportedly died after coming in contact with it, rumors of a curse began to spread. After disappearing for about 15 years, the painting ended up on eBay.
Oh, of all places.
Right. With the sellers warning potential buyers that the painting was haunted. They even claimed that the boy would come out of the painting and scare their children.
Oh, hell no.
Right.
Hell
The painting was sold to a buyer in Michigan for just $1,025.
Oh,
Whether or not the painting has caused any more trouble is unclear.
I don't know.
This one, I remember reading about this at some point. The Terracotta Army.
Yes, I almost did this one too, but I didn't.
In 1974, the Terracotta Army was discovered during a dig in a communal farm village in China. If you haven't seen this, you got to see it.
It's crazy looking.
It's crazy. It's fantastic. The 8,000 statues were meant to guard the burial place of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China in 221 BC.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Right. The farmers feared that Buddha would punish them for unearthing the emperor's final resting place, and unfortunately, this fear seemingly came true. The government seized the site's land following the excavation and tore down homes in the small farming village, prompting rumors of a curse. Several of the farmers who initially found the statues died relatively young, and both had already lost their homes and livelihoods after the village was destroyed to accommodate tourists.
That's sad.
So I really don't think it was a curse.
More so,
the government getting their grubby hands.
Well, yeah. But if they'd have never found it,
right,
they'd have never lost everything.
True. God, it's looking spooky outside. I love it.
It got dark real fast.
It really did. So this is the last one I'm going to read from this website. Otzi the Iceman. Since the discovery of his perfectly preserved Ice Age warrior in 1991, 7 deaths have been attributed to the curse of Otzi the Iceman. Some claim the warrior's spirit seeks revenge for being disturbed after being encased in ice for thousands of years. The hiker who discovered Otzi, the team who took him from his icy grave, and the reporter who covered the story are some of the alleged victims and the Iceman's curse. Scientist Conrad Spindler, a leading expert on Otzi, is also considered a victim since he perished shortly after joking about the curse and calling it rubbish.
Oh.
So, let me just say, when we find shit that's buried,
put it back.
Leave it alone.
Put it back.
Leave it alone.
Don't touch it.
There's no reason for you to have that.
Put it back.
None. Oh, now my computer's going to do the thing where it's taking forever. You got new internet and everything, and my stuff's still acting crazy.
I don't know.
I really just think it's this laptop. So, not to plug, but Amazon wish list, I got a new laptop on there if you guys want to, throw a little something this way.
No pressure or anything.
No pressure. None whatsoever. It's fine. Okay, so on to my grand finale story. And this is the one that I was so excited about because it is absolutely fantastic. Okay? Yes. This is the story about the Dybbuk box. Now, I initially heard it on Spooky Set number 5 of Witch Bitch Amateur Hour, and I was like, oh no, I called Brittany immediately. We got to do another Cursed Objects episode. But the story that I got from a website. She kind of touched on some of the same stuff on the podcast. But when one is pursuing an estate sale, you go to, an estate sale, somebody's passed away, they're selling all their stuff in their house, okay?
Yeah.
When one is pursuing an estate sale, normal people don't stop to think, man, I don't know if I should buy this cabinet because it might be cursed. I totally think things like that. Like, how many of these items in here are cursed? But I said normal people.
Yeah.
And, But one day, a man named Kevin Manis was shopping around an estate sale for a Polish Stop.
You're getting all discombobulated.
What is wrong with me?
I don't know. Usually it's me.
He was shopping around an estate sale for a Polish woman who had died at age 103 when he stumbled across this cabinet. He inquired about it. The granddaughter of the deceased insisted that he buy it, even though he offered for her to keep it, betting that it held some type of sentimental value to her. She told him that her grandmother kept the box stashed away and wouldn't let anybody open it. Kevin took the cabinet to his furniture refinishing shop and put it in the basement. One day, when he had left the shop to go conduct some business, his employee called him in a panic because they believed that someone was in the shop, cussing and smashing stuff. When he returned to the shop and went down to the basement, all the lights in the basement were broken, and it smelled very strongly of cat pee.
Ooh.
That employee quit on the spot and never returned to the shop.
Oh.
Kevin found it odd, but he never thought that it would have anything to do with that box. He had planned on refinishing the box and giving it to his mom for her birthday, but decided not to refinish it and just clean it. So I guess it was just, looked good on its own, just needed to be a little clean. When his mom showed up to the shop to go to lunch with him, he gave her the box. And at some point, Kevin had walked away to make a phone call, and the employee that he had there at the time came rushing up to him to let him know that something was wrong with his mama. When he returned to her, she was sitting in a chair, expressionless, but she was crying and completely unresponsive. He rushed her to the hospital to find that she had had a stroke and was unable to speak for a while.
Oh, wow.
She was only able to communicate using a spell board where she would point to letters and spell words of what she was trying to say.
Yeah.
When he asked her how she was doing, she spelled out the words, "no gift."
Oh.
And then she emphasized, "hate gift."
Oh, wow.
He, of course, took the box back because his mom didn't want it. But then he took the gift and gave it to his sister.
Oh.
A week later, she returned the box to him. After that, he tried to give it to his brother and his brother's wife. They returned it after 3 days.
Oh.
Then, you would think something's up. I better hold on to it.
Any other person would be like, nobody wants this.
Right. Even after the brother had told him that he smelled jasmine flowers around the box, and the wife smelled cat pee around the box, Kevin then tried to give it to his girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that went well.
She asked for him to sell it for her soon after.
Yeah.
A middle-aged couple bought it from him 3 days later. When he got to his shop for work one day, or a middle-aged couple bought it from him, but 3 days later, when he got to his shop for work, he found the box sitting out front with a note saying, "This has bad darkness."
Oh.
So now, you've given it to your mom.
Yeah.
Some shit went down. You've given it to your sister. She said no thank you.
Yeah.
Your brother and his wife, no thank you. Your girlfriend, get it gone.
Right.
And now somebody that you sold it to just gave it back.
Yeah.
Something's not right here. At last, he decided to keep the box and he took it home. He soon began to have nightmares where he would be walking with a friend. It was somebody he was familiar with and comfortable with and knew. They'd be walking along, and then when he would look into his friend's eyes, what he was looking at and what was looking back at him was not his friend anymore. It was something evil. The friend had turned into what he could only describe as like a gruesome demonic hag.
Oh.
And then that demonic hag beat him.
Oh.
When he woke up from the nightmare, he would have physical marks and bruises.
Oh, no.
Like in real life.
Mm-mm.
One night, his sister and brother and the wife came over to his house to stay the night. And in the same night, while they were all there, they all had the same dream. He later found out that his girlfriend had that exact dream when she was in possession of the box. Manus and visitors in his home also began seeing shadows around in the house. And then, he then decided that it's time. The box has got to go.
Yeah.
So he placed the box in a storage unit outside of his home. After a short time in the storage unit, he heard the smoke alarm from the unit going off. But when he approached and opened the storage unit, there was no smoke. Only the overwhelming stench of cat pee again. He decided at this point it was time for the box to go for good. He posted the box on eBay, because why not?
Right.
Hoping someone with paranormal knowledge would find it and know what to do with it. In June of 2003, a student of University of Missouri named Losif Nitsky bought it. He listed the box again 8 months later on eBay after he and his roommates suffered illnesses and insomnia. But he sold it for $280 to somebody by the name of Jason Haxton, who heard about it from one of the roommates. Haxton reports that he too experienced some supernatural stuff while having the box, but he states that it had an anti-aging effect on him.
Oh.
He also did experience the welts, hives, choking and coughing up blood with it. He said that he's seen lights and shadows while in possession of the box, and he decided to take a different approach and reached out to get the help of scientists, paranormalists, Kabbalists, which is like a Jewish person who deals with like occult knowledge or mysticism, and Wiccans to help get the box in a state that was easier to deal with. He had been keeping it in an acacia wood ark lined with 24 karat gold and stashed in his den. He did confess that he ended up burying it where it was well hidden and wouldn't be found, in a military-grade shock-proof container. So he was a little scared.
Yeah.
Now, here comes a favorite part of this whole story. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Haxton finally ended up selling the box for apparently tens of thousands of dollars.
Right.
To none other.
Please say his name.
He sold it to none other than your boy Zach Bagans. He had purchased it so that he could place it in his haunted museum in Vegas. I'm not going to tell you, if I ever went to Vegas, I'd have to go see it.
Well, yeah, of course.
But, like, I'd be really upset with the fact that Zach Bagans is getting my money.
Well, you can, like, I don't know.
Maybe there's a Groupon out there so he won't get, like, full amount.
I don't know. He's so douchey. He probably, like goes and
jacks the prices. So
he goes and takes down all the Groupon offers on his own museum.
He doesn't let the public look at it unless they sign a waiver that releases him from any liability if something bad happens while or after they view the box.
Oh.
Makes sense, though.
Yeah.
I get it.
Just in case.
Right. However, in 2018, Post Malone visited Bagans' museum, and Bagans took him to go see the box.
Yeah.
So when they went to go see it, Zach removed the protective glass case from it and touched the box, and then touched Posty on the shoulder.
Oh no!
So in the podcast in the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour episode, she said that she had seen or heard or whatever that, like, when he touched the box and then he touched Post Malone, he, like, started crying and was, like, freaking out, like Zach did. Was, like, crying and freaking out and really acting a fool about it. But, like, they didn't know if, like, it was legit or if it was just him putting on a show, as he will.
Right.
But then, apparently, there was, like, stories out there to where they went and sat in a car afterwards, and he just bawled like a baby back bitch about it. But anyway, after that, Post Malone believed that he was cursed. He had a string of bad luck after that experience. He was involved in a car accident. His house was broken into. And his plane, he was almost involved in a plane wreck within a month of the experience. Like, his plane had to make an emergency landing.
Yeah.
So, there's that. But I was so excited about that freaking story. I was like, this is good. This is gold.
That's better than what I got. Damn.
Now you gotta follow that up. Say it with emphasis.
Well, I'm following that up with a wedding dress. So, the historic Baker Mansion in Altoona, Pennsylvania, is said to be haunted by the spirits of the previous owners. The most active spirit is thought to be Anna Baker, who suffered a tragic and heartbreaking loss prior to her wedding. To this day, there are claims that she haunts the wedding dress that once belonged to her. In 1854, while visiting her father at the Allegheny furnace, which he owned, Anna Baker met and fell in love with one of the steel workers. Even though Anna was 18 years old, she kept the romance a secret from her family, as she knew that her father would prohibit her relationship with one of his employees. Over the next 2 years, the relationship blossomed. The two would send secret letters and would sneak a few fleeting moments together whenever Elias stayed at work. It wasn't long until Anna's boyfriend proposed, and she happily accepted. Anna chose her wedding dress, and the two made plans to marry, but they also planned to leave the state to avoid the wrath of Elias. But unfortunately, Elias found out about the secret relationship from another one of his employees, and immediately fired Anna's love, threatening him with death if he ever returned to Altoona. Elias told Anna what he had done and forbade her from communicating with her love. He searched her room and took away all of the love letters he could find and threw them into the fire. Anna's heart was broken, and she fell into a deep depression. The only remnant of her relationship was the wedding dress that she had picked out. For years, Anna locked herself away in her room, even refusing to eat at times, or even speak to anyone. In 1864, Elias Baker passed away, and Anna saw this as an opportunity to find her former fiancé.
Sorry.
Is she over here watching TikTok?
No, I was trying to bring up TikTok because I was going to make one real quick with you doing this and then the light show that's going on outside.
Right. Unfortunately, by the time she found him, he was married to another woman and had a family. This caused Anna to sink into an even deeper depression and lock herself away. After that, the only time that Anna was seen was through glimpses of her from her bedroom window on the third floor of the Baker Mansion. Maids claimed to see her dancing alone in her wedding dress when her family wasn't home, but would run the moment she heard anyone approaching. At night, they claimed to hear her heartbroken sobs echoing from her room. By 1907, the rest of the Baker family had passed, and Anna lived alone in the 3-story mansion. In 1914, Anna Baker passed away, heartbroken and alone. Today, visitors of the mansion claim to hear Anna Baker wandering around her room, sometimes crying, and other times they'll catch her looking down at them from her window. The Baker Mansion, which was converted into a museum, displays Anna's wedding dress in a glass case in her bedroom. Most of the paranormal activity in the home appears to be centered around the dress. Some visitors to the museum have reported seeing the glass case move while they were in the room, as if someone were trying to get to the dress. Many believe that Anna is trying to retrieve her dress so that she can wear it and dance like she was meant to at her wedding. As I usually do with these sorts of stories, it is to bring forth the more of the truth of these aspects. So, while that was a very good story, particularly for the loud thunder that is happening right now, none of it was true. Oh. So, according to historical documents, none of that was accurate. So, Anna Baker left behind some journals and letters, and she had a great relationship with her parents, and the only person she ever seemed to be in love with was her cousin William, who died before she could visit with him. It is even a great possibility that the wedding dress was never Anna's to begin with and was simply an item of the time that was put on display with the stories growing around it over the years. It was even said that at one time the mayor of Altoona fabricated these ghost stories in order to drum up tourist dollars to the area. The Blair County Historical Society makes no claims on their website that the Baker Mansion is haunted, but they are still providing tours if you are ever in the area and curious, if you dare, if you think it might be true, but chances are it's not. Next is famously Annabelle.
I almost did this one.
I almost didn't do this one, and you'll see why. So, Annabelle the doll was first discovered by Ed and Lorraine Warren when they were called to investigate a doll that was reportedly moving on its own, leaving threatening letters and interacting negatively with a man in the home. Upon retrieving the doll, the Warrens allegedly found an evil spirit within the doll that has now become an icon of the Warrens' work. The story of Annabelle begins when a nursing student preparing to graduate from college named Donna was living in a small apartment with her roommate Angie. As Donna's birthday was approaching, her mother went out and purchased a Raggedy Ann doll as a present for her daughter, which seems weird for a college graduate, but
nostalgia.
I'm not going to judge. After the celebrations, Donna placed the doll on her bed and kept it there as decoration and a reminder of her mother. Within days of the doll being in the apartment, Donna and Angie started noticing some strange things. The doll seemed to be moving around the home.
Yes!
The doll seemed to be moving around the home when no one else was there. At first, it was small movements. However, as time went on, the doll would move to different rooms and positions. And things only got more mysterious as the girls continued to ignore the doll and simply move it back. The doll would leave messages on parchment paper like, "Help us" and "Help Lou." These messages didn't seem like random scribblings. Donna and Angie had a close friend named Lou who had spent a fair amount of time at the apartment. As the doll, I think it might be Haley.
That's Hale. Also, I just heard some weird noise out in the house. So
let me continue to
spooky. We in for a spooky night.
So as the doll continued to display strange behavior, the three noticed red, wet substances. Oh, there goes the power. I hope that doesn't affect the recording.
We lost Wi-Fi, I think.
Yeah, there goes the Wi-Fi. It might be okay. I think because it's not uploaded yet, I think we're okay. It's the timer's still going.
Okay.
So well, I'm just going to continue as...
The power came back on. So
yeah, it came back on right away.
It was only out for a couple seconds.
As the doll continued to display strange behavior, the three noticed red, wet substances on her hands, and Lou experienced a strange incident with deep claw mark scratches into his chest. At this time, the Warrens were called to help investigate the doll. Now, I would like to revisit these folks later down the line, but I hate to burst the bubble of anyone who is a fan of the Conjuring series, but I think that these two are as phony as it possibly gets. Obviously, the Warrens immediately found a demonic spirit had possessed the doll. It was in the infestation period and was able to teleport to get the attention of the occupants of the apartment. When the girls invited in a medium, the demon told the story of a young, harmless girl just looking for a place for her spirit to reside. This, however, gave the girls the peace of mind needed to welcome the spirit into their home. At the end of their investigation, the Warrens concluded that the best course of action would be to exorcise the doll and remove the spirit from the apartment. Father Cook, although uncomfortable with an exorcism, performed the ritual nonetheless, and the Warrens agreed to take the doll with them to ensure no one would fall victim to the doll again. And after their return home, the Warrens stated that the doll would levitate. The Warrens could feel the intense hatred from the doll and decided safety precautions should be taken. They had a special case built for the doll, and it remained in the Warrens Occult Museum. Annabelle the doll remains in her case to this day to keep people safe from the possession of the evil spirit inhabiting her. The doll remains with the Warren family and on rare occasions is brought to events for people to see and to hear the story of the doll and the Warrens. So,
I just want y'all to know it is pitch black.
Yeah.
I can't see the tree line in her backyard. This storm got out of hand
real quick.
Quickly.
Yeah, you'll probably hear the progression of this storm over the next month, but...
Right, well, and if you hear any interference on the mics, chances are was my phone or the lightning and whatnot going on.
Yeah.
So
it's looking pretty rough outside.
I'm pretty sure we heard hail.
Oh, I guarantee it.
And what you guys don't understand is that, I'm a true Southern person, and it is killing me that we are not standing on the front porch that's covered right now.
Oh, yeah. Or even the carport.
And, storms.
Ooh. I think it's still hailing.
Yeah. Storms do things to me.
There goes the power.
There goes the power again. And again, it's back on. It went down, back, back. But storms do things to me. I start vibrating.
I love storms.
I'm excited.
I love storms.
It makes me feel witchy and powerful.
I was born during a thunderstorm.
I don't know that I was, but I love them.
I'm told I was.
Anyway, you want to hit your last one?
So my last one is the cursed Bassano vase of Italy.
Also, almost did this one.
A common wedding gift given to brides of royalty and wealth for centuries were intricate and expensive vases. Going all the way back to the 12th century, the Duchess Eleanor of Aquitaine gifted her husband-to-be, King Louis VII, with a rock crystal vase.
Good job for putting what that means next to it.
Yeah, I usually try to. I mean, I'm pretty good at reading Roman numerals. It's when they start there's more of them that I get a little iffy on, but just in case, I go ahead and do it. So it wasn't unusual when a woman in the 15th century received a vase as a wedding gift, except that this particular vase was silver and plain looking. There were no intricate marks or lavish decorations, and it didn't appear to be very expensive. But as legend goes, the vase contained a curse that would continue to take lives for the next 5 centuries. There isn't much known about the woman who received the Bassano vase in the 15th century, other than her wedding took place in a northern village close to Napoli, Italy. The stories say that she didn't know who gifted her the 4-pound silver vase, but she took it to her room for safekeeping. Later, when the wedding was to begin, she was nowhere to be found. Her husband-to-be searched for her and found her in her room, lying on the ground, clutching the vase with a fierce grip. Moments later, she was dead. After her funeral, the Bassano vase was given to one of her family members for safekeeping, but within days, they were also dead. At the time, no one thought the vase was the cause, and it was given to yet another family member to hold. Days later, they were dead as well. The family put it together and reached out to a priest for guidance. They believed that whoever gifted the bride the vase put a curse on it or had it made with cursed materials. They were instructed to bury it on sacred grounds. Many believe it was buried near the same church where the priest resided, but it's not exactly known where it was buried. And the vase didn't make any other appearances for 500 years. In 1988, a conveniently unnamed man happened to dig up the vase in Italy, and within it he finds a note reading, "Beware, this vase brings death."
Why was that found the year I was born?
I don't know. Maybe foretelling what was to come. The man, of course, ignored the note, tossing it away and bringing the vase to an auction house. As it is an antique, the vase sells quickly to a local pharmacist for 4 million lire, or lire, I don't know how to say it, Lire, equivalent to $2,270 US today. 3 months later, the pharmacist is dead, and his family has sold the vase to a 37-year-old doctor who is also dead a few months later. At this point, the vase has a reputation, and everyone else finally has the common sense to stop being willing to purchase it. Everyone except a collector and archaeologist who gladly purchased it despite his family's wishes. 3 months later, he was dead from an unknown and mysterious infection. Distraught and afraid, the family of the archaeologist tosses the vase out of the window. However, this was witnessed by a police officer who retrieved the vase and attempted to bring it back to the family. The family refused to take the vase back and warned the officer to dispose of it quickly if he wished to live. The officer attempted to give the vase to various museums, but each have already heard of the curse and refused to take it. The police officer had no other options and was in fear for his own life, so he placed the vase in a lead box and buried it in the sacred ground of a cemetery. It is not known what cemetery he buried it in, but since the vase disappeared from history, no other sightings or deaths have been reported surrounding it. Dun dun dun!
I'm glad you don't have Spectrum Internet anymore, because I just got a notification that there's an outage in our area.
Oh, no shit. I also have the nonprofit for this week, which also comes with a funny story. So, I chose GreenPeace.
Hold on. You go ahead. I'm going to pull up the receipts.
Okay. So GreenPeace is a network of independent organizations which uses peaceful, creative confrontation to expose global environmental problems and develop solutions for a green and peaceful future. That was very loud and kind of scared me.
That one too. Ooh, they are back to back.
And develop solutions for a green and peaceful future. And if you wish to donate directly to them, like I have chosen to do, you can set up a monthly donation, which I have chosen to do. That will all be linked in the episode notes.
So do you want to tell the story, or do you want me to do it with the receipts that I'm still
You do it
for?
with the receipts, and then I'll add my commentary as we go.
Okay. I'm still looking for the receipts. Oh my god, how long ago did this happen?
It wasn't that long ago. It was like a week ago.
It was longer than a week ago.
No.
Yeah, because it was before...
It was about this time last week.
It was not.
I'm lighting a candle just in case.
Hold on.
That moved my chair.
Was it before or after Pride?
It was right before.
Okay, I found it. So I get a text message from Brittany. And it's 2 screenshots. And it says, I did tell them about our podcast, though. And I'm like, what is she talking about? So, and if there's feedback, it's my phone. I'm trying to hold it away from the mic. But I'm blind, so yeah, there's that. So, it's a message between Brittany and Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
It said, Brittany says, that's it. I'm not going anywhere by myself ever again. Daniel says, what? She says, I can't be trusted to not get got. So I went to Walgreens. And he says, what did you get? She said, there were 2 dudes outside with their little table. He said, oh no. And at this point, I'm already rolling, because I'm like, I had already driven by, like I had to go to Walgreens myself and pick up a prescription because I had a kid with strep throat.
Yeah.
So I drove by and I just went through the drive-thru, but I saw the little dudes with their table. So when I went to Walgreens and I got, I knew exactly what had happened. So she says, I thought I'd shook them off, but when I came back out, I got. They were with a nonprofit called GreenPeace. Next thing I know, I've signed up for $20 a month donation. I blacked out. He says, why? And this is where I lose it. She says, I got. He says, cancel it. She said, this never would have happened if we'd just gone to the AT&T store, or if you were with me. Adam even hugged me for donating. And he's like, what? He says, why is another man hugging you? I don't even do that. She says, he was so excited. We high-fived and everything.
Oh.
He said, how do you cancel it? She said, I know this sounds made up, but it's not. He said, I can email and cancel anytime. He said, well, email now. She said, but I didn't get the email address. The whole thing was so bizarre and fast. He talked so fast.
He did. He did. He was so, they were, like, both of the guys were so lovely and so nice. But, like, the next thing I know, I'm giving them my banking information. And I'm like, how did I get here? How did I get here?
Did you
like,
verify that it's truly that place?
Okay, it really is. Okay. They're, like, partnerships with Walgreens. And it was totally kosher and fine.
Well,
but,
like I was telling my sister about it because I'd never heard of GreenPeace. And so my sister was like, that's legit, like one of the oldest nonprofits there is.
Yeah.
And so she's like, so it's a legit thing as long as those guys were with who they said they were with. But, yes, it was, I was like trying not to pee myself, and then I read it out loud to TJ, who also was laughing so hard. And we both die at the, why did a man hug you? I don't even do that.
But, like, I get got so easy, especially if I'm by myself, because I have a hard time telling people no. And even if I can't afford it, I'm like, okay.
Your Girl Scout cookies? All right.
Oh, no, I don't buy Girl Scout cookies. Those are gross.
Rude.
No, they're not good.
I love my chocolate mint flavored cardboard
Can I
cookies.
just, like, give a Girl Scout money and just be done with it?
Here's the real question, though. And here's where I'm going to ruffle some feathers. Do you donate to the Salvation Army?
No. I do not.
I would not and will not. Do you want to know why?
Why?
They discriminate against the LGBTQ community.
That doesn't shock me. That doesn't. But, like, I used to quite frequently go to the, there used to be a thrift store, a Salvation Army thrift store on Charlotte Pike. Oh, my God. I can smell that store.
Well, notice, because, they come out at Christmas time with their little red buckets and their bells.
Yeah.
Notice that it is rare that you find one at Target.
Oh.
And Target supports the LGBTQ community.
Fun fact, Walmart had a pride section this year.
Woo! We're
At least
out there,
the one
y'all.
in Dixon did. I don't know.
We're out there, y'all. And in case y'all didn't catch it, and you don't follow us on our socials, my family and I went to Pride. And I took my kids. We all had t-shirts made by...
It was really cute.
By, the shop that Brittany works in. She had us shirts made.
Yeah.
Gemma's said, be beautiful, and U was Y-O-U, and there was, I think the U was rainbow.
Yes, I believe so.
Easton's had like a Batman mask on it, and it said, be your own hero, and it was also rainbow. That's like, cute. The shirts were black, but the logos were rainbow.
Yeah.
Maddie's said, y'all means all, and it was rainbow.
That one was my favorite.
TJ's, which, by the way, got so many compliments.
Really?
I cannot tell you how many people stopped him and was like, where did you get that shirt? I love it. That shirt is awesome.
Nice.
TJ said, I may be straight, but I don't hate. And it had like a rainbow. And then, was it two hands holding or fist bumping or something?
And
then one of them was like rainbow painted or whatever.
Yeah.
And then mine was very simple. It just said, IYK. YK, so if you know, you know.
Yeah.
And it was in, like, the pink, purple, blue, by flag colors.
Yeah.
So, you guys have heard me say, I appreciate a woman, so I guess that was my official coming out.
Oh my gosh.
So, you guys heard it first on the podcast.
And then I get, like, a catch in my hip.
Right.
Like, oh my.
So, yes, we went. I took my kids. It was a great time. They had an absolute blast. We listened to some music. The kids did a little bit of dancing. TJ did a little bit of dancing. It was miserably hot and incredibly like busy. There was a ton of people there. We saw some people that we know. There was a ton of booths for all kinds of like foundations and companies and stuff that support and are out there to help.
Yeah.
And, people giving free mom hugs and, stuff like that. Free dad hugs, whatnot. Incredible music. There was a lot of interesting stuff.
Yeah. My favorite thing was what you posted. The kids said,
I'm getting there. So Maddie took a picture with a couple drag queens. The kids got their face painted. I mean, there was some interesting stuff that I myself had never seen.
Yeah.
I had some questions
Yeah.
that I did some research on after we were gone. And I had already had discussions with my oldest is not as big of a concern because she's part of the community herself. So
Yeah.
as much of a part of the community as she can be at 14 years old.
Right.
You know, I don't discourage her from being who she wants to be, but I can't make the decision as to whether or not she has tagged herself as bisexual due to just slapping a label to be cool, or if that's how she truly feels. But because, again, she's 14, she doesn't know.
It's a learn and grow situation.
Right.
Yeah.
But so I wasn't so much concerned with her. I did have conversations with the two littles about, you know, what to expect to see. That we'd see that people who present as male may be dressed as a female.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna see drag queens, and I explained to them what a drag queen was. And, you know, and I, you know, explained we don't laugh, we don't make fun, we don't point, we don't, you know, say anything mean.
Right.
Because they do it because that's what they're comfortable in.
Right.
That's what makes them happy. And as long as they're happy and they're not hurting anybody.
Or it's even like just a creative outlet.
Right.
For some.
I'm like, you know, we don't care what they do.
Yeah.
As long as they're not hurting anybody.
Right.
And I said, you know, so if you see a drag queen walk by, what are you going to say? And Easton said, I'm not going to say nothing. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, but, you know, if you want to say something, then say, look, they look really pretty. If you think that they look really pretty, you know?
Yeah.
And so we had the conversations. They completely understood. I thoroughly expected to leave there and have to answer a ton of questions.
Right.
I was packed and ready to go. Because I took them as a learning opportunity to show them that love is love and that we need to be accepting.
Yeah.
You know, we don't get to tell somebody who they can and cannot love.
Right. Well, like, my philosophy is, like, just because I don't understand it doesn't mean that I get to tell somebody else that they can't do it.
Right.
Because there's a lot of things about, like, all of that I don't understand.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to pretend to. But I'm not going to be like, oh, that's wrong.
Right.
Because I don't understand
Exactly.
it.
So, we get home and we're talking about it. And I'm like, you know, did you guys have fun? And they're like, yeah, that was so much fun. Matter of fact, Easton was still talking about it today.
Aw.
And they were like, yeah, that's so much fun. And I was like, well, did you see anything that confused you? Or did you have any questions about anything? Mm-hmm. And Easton and Gemma both were like, I do have a question. And I'm like, all right, here it goes. Here's my moment. And they're like, so there was that dog that had clothes and shoes on. How did its humans get that on it without it being upset and still being able to walk? And I'm like, that's really all y'all were concerned about? Like, y'all just saw, like, people in, like, full-blown animal outfits, like furries.
A whole...
Like, the whole, like, head... The whole 9 yards. You saw people
I
walk.
will say those people are weird.
Well,
but I'm not here to judge.
Right. And then there were people with like, and I still don't understand this aspect of it, but there were like people walking around with like leather masks that looked like dogs.
Oh, that's
And
weird.
I'm not gonna lie, we had first got there and we walked over to the section where like the drag shows were. A couple people walked in. And they both had those leather, like, masks on that looked like dogs. And one of them had, like, a tactical vest that was almost like a bulletproof vest. And we've already had, like, within a couple days before the festival actually happened, they had arrested somebody from Kansas who was threatening to shoot at the Pride Festival, saying that it was just going to be a mass situation.
Right.
And so I'm already a little on edge about it.
I could see if you walk up and see something like that, it'd be a little sketchy.
I panicked just slightly, like not outwardly because I didn't want the kids to panic, but I'm like keeping my eyes on that person at all times because I'm like, they've got a bulletproof vest on to protect them. Like, what is about to go down?
Yeah.
But anyway, nothing happened. Great time. It was amazing. If anything major happened, the news didn't come out with it or I just didn't see it. So... But everybody I've talked to that went said it was one of the best ones. It was great. I did post a picture on Facebook and TikTok of TJ and I there. You didn't really get to see our shirts, and that was not intentional. But it was a great time. I was really excited about it.
Okay.
I'm really upset that neither one of us thought to do an LGBTQ plus nonprofit for the month of June.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it.
We did do one in February or March when we did the New Orleans
Yeah.
episode, so.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it.
I didn't either, honestly,
But-
and I'm a part of the freaking community, so there's that. But. Alright,
Yeah.
guys. Well, we appreciate you coming to another wonderful week.
Yeah, be a good human this week.
Don't tell people that they're going to hell for who they love.
Yeah.
I mean, just because.
If you think it, keep it to yourself.
Right.
Please.
No, it
We're not trying to. We're not here to tell you what to do.
Right.
But
just be
chill out.
Just be a good person.
Yeah. Be a good human this week. I think we'll start or end every episode with that now. Be a good human this
Be a
week.
good human this week. I like it.
Follow us on Twitter,
Facebook,
Instagram,
TikTok,
email us
at Wanders of Weird.
at gmail.com.
I'll let you have it this time.
Thank you. I missed it last time.
Share us out too.
All I can think of is Hannah Montana, since you mentioned it earlier.
Because my niece is going to see the
So
water
that
bullets in the
that
Hannah
one's
Montana
for
movie.
you, Kendall. Mention it to Hannah Montana if you see her.
Let Miley know.
Yeah,
If Miley listens to us, I'll never know.
yeah, I'll
I'll
never
never
know.
know.
I'll never
I had to think about that for a minute. I'll never know. All right. Yeah.
Well,
Share it with Hannah Montana.
yeah.
Also share it out with that nice little couple down the street that everybody avoids because we live in the Bible Belt and they're part of the LGBTQ community.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably enjoy it.
Support.
But, alright.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I'm going out on the porch.